Meanwhile, Kiev is calling for immediate international action. Ukrainians mourning the victims of the attack say what they want is for the perpetrators to be held more accountable. For more on this, CCTV's Roee Ruttenberg joins us live. And Roee, how are the people there feeling?
Indeed, everything that's being discussed now obviously is happening in the east, the difficulty accessing that crash site. But even though it's far from here, it's very much being felt here in Kiev. We wanted to speak to the people here to find out what they think about it. There were no Ukrainians on board Malaysian Airlines Flight 17 when, as it appears, it was shot down on Thursday. That hasn't stopped the nation from mourning. It's a grief best seen outside of the Dutch embassy in Kiev, where people have gathered every day since. For most Ukrainians, the tragic death of the 298 passengers is an extension of the fighting, first in the capital, then in the east, that's killed hundreds in recent months.
Here is the blood of the innocent blood Europe and Ukraine together. That is why my tears run like a river, because the whole situation has accumulated.
And just now, it turned out that this is not war against Ukraine, it's war against all civilized world and civilized countries.
It was a similar, though smaller, scene outside of Malaysia's embassy and others. The outpour of support here started right after it was announced on Thursday that flight MH17 was downed. And this pile here, the flowers, it's just kept growing and growing. The people here say they didn't need evidence, they didn't even need blame, they knew who was responsible. The separatists, they say, and their backers.
100% sure that Russia is also, or was supporting this organization, so this country is for blame on the first place.
There was also solidarity in Ukrainian news broadcasts. Channel 5, owned by Ukraine's president, changed its background to black and burned a candle right up front.
War and revolution in Ukraine have strengthened people's perception. One message can move millions, tens of millions. And what we're seeing now, this phenomenon at the Dutch embassy, for example, is a reflection of how these shared feelings present themselves in society.
A society which now says it grieves for its own loss as it grieves for the loss of others. And that's really the sentiment that we've heard from people here, that this is a tragedy. They share in the tragedy of others. But for the people here, this didn't begin last week.
Well, Roee, we hear there's been continued fighting in the Luhansk region. What more do we know about this?
Yeah, and that's exactly the example here, that this has been going on for months in Luhansk region, north of Donetsk region, scene of some violent clashes and dozens of people killed in recent days. We're getting reports that the capital city, Luhansk city, the separatists may have actually fled that city. There's been intense fighting by the military to regain control. We heard that they had regained parts of the city, including the airport. Now we're hearing that they have full control of Luhansk city. That would be considered a major win for them.
Roee Ruttenberg reporting live in Kiev. We will check back with you at the top of the hour. Thank you.